welcome back for your November reading. I had to think then, gee, where has the year gone? Big shout out to my girlfriend who's a Taurus. Won't say your name. Now, if you're wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link directly below. Please keep in mind that come Christmas, you know, things are going to be clogging up and basically a little bit of time will be taken off. But if you are wanting an emergency reading, you can actually email me and I'll see what I can tee up for you. So if you're wanting to forward date any bookings, you can jump through in month sections and you can actually block that time slot out for yourself. I don't at the moment provide vouchers for prepaid bookings, and that's more for the scheduling point of view, but at a later date that might come. Okay, you've got some interesting energy going on. Now, you've got to remember that this year was very much about really completely changing. Last year, as I said, there wasn't a lot of forward motion, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Lots of movement has happened this year. Friendships would have come and gone. And these are the ones that were relevant and more vibrationally correct for you. They will remain. The situations in your life that weren't meant to be there anymore are aspects that you would be purging. So anything connected to your job, if it doesn't directly relate to you, that will go by the wayside. Balance within your life, connected to money, connected to the way you use it, has been in highlight this year. Home directly has been impacted in some shape or form. The people that reside in your home, that has been changing as well. Now that did come up last month and it may kind of jump over into the next month. Okay, I can feel that you're a bit angry about last month. It feels as though some of the plans that you had didn't come to fruition and you're cross by it. Now, okay, this is what you've got to understand with manifestation. When you're thinking of a goal in mind, you need to remember it's like anything in life. It's not saying it's not happening. It's saying it will at the correct time. Your vibration's actually blocking an aspect of that happening. Because your mindset is saying, I believe, yet to the core, physically, you don't. So to some degree, what you're going to find is you're actually not believing in a scenario or an area that you're wanting to focus on. And it's asking you to go back to the table and have a look at your bucket list and work out why suddenly you've been focusing on something. Is it directly relevant to where you are right now? In connection to a road, you might feel that you're looking at your life and saying, well, this is not how I thought things would be. Now, that's okay as well, because we're coming to the close point at the end of the year. Anything we were meant to get rid of emotionally speaking this year, if we haven't done it, it's going to come up in the next 2 months. So anywhere between the end of October and more so during October as well, definitely, but this month, all the way through to the end of the year, with an aspect of the first week to the second week of January. So if we haven't done the work we were needing to do to ready ourselves for that stable foundation, almost look at this year as a tower event, but not in a bad way, in a perfect way, where we're ending old cycles connected to who we're supposed to be and how things are supposed to be. Okay, you verbally need to start verbalizing your needs connected to what your bucket list is, what you physically feel you want in your life. And because you're not expressing it, you're not getting it. So it might be physically to the universe, you need to physically express it. To yourself, you need to believe it and verbally tell yourself what your truth is. And this could be directly to a person. Even if you feel it falls on deaf ears, it might be in the shape of a letter, an email, an SMS, a physical contact with a person and communicating directly with them. You have a lot of purple as well in your chakra card, so it might be that you're needing to very much cleanse and detoxify yourself at this point. So you might want an amethyst crystal to assist with this process, because it's hindering your inspiration connected to your life path and where you're wanting to go. And you are going to get guidance directly connected to this. This could be through the shape of the reading or through an epiphany moment, I'm feeling. You need to take your power back to the point where you're thinking it's due to your external situations for the reason the road is blocked. It directly is not. If that road is destined for you, no matter where you are in the world, on the map, it's going to happen. So if this is directly connected to a physical person or a physical aspect transpiring, it's not going to hinder it no matter where you are. It will come about when it's the correct time for it to come about. So you need to... Another aspect we have directly dealt with this year has been connected to us realizing the sense that we physically, where we have control, where we don't, where we need to go with the flow, and how to work with those energies without taking it personally and falling into that trap of ego. So if we can work with that and try to not look at the situation that we're being punished, you're going to deal with those energies a lot better than the way you have been. You have been taking things extremely personally. You definitely have been getting to a point where certain people, where you feel they have done something to you, you haven't verbally communicated that correctly. This could be family members, it could be parents, it could be your work colleagues or your friendships. It just feels you're not owning your power correctly, and it's coming about in a different way where it's starting to impact you, so to speak. Okay, so couples. Let's see what I'm feeling for you guys. Okay, overall, you're feeling that something is moving, and something is moving very quickly, connected to a direction you're both wanting to take. It could be that you're feeling more connected and passionate about a situation, and that you're wanting to move things forward. But be careful with the energy, because it feels as though this fire may fizzle out, or this idea or this intention or energy connected to what you're physically trying to do or currently dealing with. You feel disconnected in some shape or form. And I mean, this month, very much the energy I've been feeling has been a very assertive energy. And when I meditated, a lot of what I was feeling was that we're going to come to a point where we're needing to verbalize things. And, you know, when I meditated on the month, the first thing that came through, I wrote it down on my board, and it was almost to the point where the energy might be a bit aggressive, in a sense of us actually having to own our truths and verbalizing our truths. Yet as I went down the list of the zodiac signs weren't doing that. So that's the funny thing. It's feeling as though we're going to be very much forced, our hand's going to be forced in some shape or form to verbalize how we're feeling. And our responsibility within our relationships and other areas are going to be directly testing us, so to speak, but we have to be very cautious about how we directly relay that information to these people, parties, locations involved, so that we can get the best out of the situation. So your partner's energy is feeling very passionate. Yours is feeling that you feel distant. The energy between you is feeling that one or the other isn't doing correctly what they're doing. So you're looking at each other in a different way and feeling as though you're not feeling the same. You're not on each other's wavelength coming into the first week. Now I'll pull some clarifiers on that. I feel you're both focusing on two separate tasks, but again, because the communication isn't coming through in the correct manner, there's misunderstandings directly connected to this. Now, your partner is feeling that they're looking back of how things used to be. But you're being very independent, and maybe that's who you used to be, and suddenly your energy's changed and they're loving that, yet you're not liking the energy and the responsibility that you have on your shoulders, but yet you are taking this energy nevertheless. Okay, be cautious connected to anywhere you're driving and how you're going about things, because it feels like you're in an energy of one's being fiercely independent and another is being very daydreamy. So that can be a secondary message. This doesn't have to resonate for all of you, but please try and keep your wits about you within the first 2 weeks, I'm feeling. Your energy is very scattered in a sense of you are concentrating on an issue or on something. So it's like I feel as though work or some separate scenario is taking you away where you're very busy. And due to that busyness, you guys aren't on the same page connected to. It's more like a cross energy connected to who's doing more. That's what I'm feeling. But your partner is working very hard, but be super careful because this month fertility is very high. So be it on your side or your partner's. You know, there is a connection to either growth in a sense of an idea they have in mind, but there is going to be justice connected to, you know, anything you're distancing yourself from, there is going to be a justice connected to it. So for some of you, it might be that you're making a move in a sense that you feel this vibrationally isn't connecting with you. Doesn't have to be. It feels like an energy more so internally inside of the relationship, but for some of you, this will relate. But both of you connected to this change are really digging your heels and connected to it. So whatever you're directly dealing with, I'm finding that you're really on 2 separate pages about it. Okay, and it's because both of you are owning your own power, so you're clashing wills there. And yes, it is good, and this is what this month's energy is that you're needing to be assertive connected to your communication. Maybe while we're going through that energy, perhaps focus on self and positive communication in a non-aggressive way, preferably, because we're not going to then learn that aspect of what we're needing to step into within our power. Okay. In a way, the reason why the energy is being pushed so that we are speaking our truth is because we hadn't done this in the past and we hadn't honoured our needs and our wants and desires, and that's why the clash is going on between you. So it may not be the direct energy of your actual total relationship. It might be the challenge set from the universe where you're needing to step into that power and really being forced. So where your partner's feeling nostalgic and dreamy, it's not making them feel balanced because they're feeling they're living in the 3D and the 5D. And when I'm saying that, it's like what they physically see in front of them is not physically making them feel, yes, I'm happy. And it's not that you're not making them happy. They're dreaming over simpler times connected to an area. This could be work related. And while they're doing that, it feels like happy thoughts they're having or manifesting of goals and dreams. It could be even the thought process of buying a home. It just feels their mind is elsewhere, not here where it needs to be. This might be because they're directly fatigued, which I'm feeling. You're also being very independent, but for something it's coming to an end. Now it might be that the energy between you turns around where it's becoming more stable and grounded, or it might be that you're looking at something from a different perspective. But your partner's working too hard, but you are using your intuition connected to this. But you've got to work together, not attack each other, because that is the key to the situation. Your partner is very tired, and an aspect of healing is coming through for them in this shape or form. I do feel there is a related matter connected to your partner which is testing them, and it doesn't feel work related, it feels family related. For some of you, you might have had your partner lose somebody, and it might be an anniversary connected to that, and it's triggering an aspect in them. This could be a birth date, it could be an actual funeral they're going to attend, but it's triggering an aspect inside them that is causing a lot of grief. But they do know that this is a happy home, and that's what they're wanting ultimately. Or maybe they're remembering back to that happy home life at that given point in time. If they're working too hard, what you might find is for them to cope with those stress levels, they're physically doing that to kind of defer the energy. You're being compassionate connected to this scenario. And you're being really patient, and it might be that you're having to delay certain aspects and certain roads connected to where you're supposed to go in this relationship because of something that has happened. Now, the accident I was seeing can be directly linked to the person who did pass over, and I'm hoping it's not so. Or it could be a date connected to a previous one that is bringing a trigger up. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. Just be cautious. Singles, what's going on for you guys? Oh, you guys feel tired. You feel as though you have a lot on your plate. You're wanting a situation to be quite perfect, but you're overdoing it. Try and go with the flow. I'm a culprit of this myself, and my closest friends know this. Christmas, New Year's, and all the rest of it, birthday parties, I would treat my family to the T. Try to become to the point where you're important too, and that it's not the food, it's not the wine, it's the memories and the enjoyment of those people around you, because it's something else going on other than the cooking, the cleaning, and for the man as well, whatever you directly do to take your mind off, you know, what you're really focusing on to try and create this perfect world. There's perfect in imperfect, so try and attempt to accept that. It was very challenging for myself because I'm a perfectionist. But I'm feeling as though you're trying to do too much. You're going over old ground. You're then getting frustrated connected to why people aren't doing what they need to do, why things aren't flowing, everything's going wrong. I feel this energy of just, I wouldn't say agitation. You're very good at multitasking, but an aspect of this is done to self. So you need to then not get to the point where you have overwhelmed yourself, when you could delegate a task, so to speak, to take the pressure off you. Try also not to take things personally connected to if people aren't doing what they need to do, because they are not as balanced and organised as you are. And again, communication this month. So it will be about the way you see things. And you're very jumpy. Okay, what's going on with you guys? Okay, you have been waiting for a scenario to transpire for a very long time, and this is making you angry, and this is the real reason why this agitation is coming through for you, where you're getting really cheesed off. Okay, an aspect of that after you have maybe a blow up, or verbalization or communication directly from something that you've been waiting on, that's going to renew your hopes. Although it might be a crumb of it, it's still going to a degree. It might be information you hear through the grapevine connected to what you're waiting on, and I do feel this is directly connected to a relationship scenario. It's going to make you feel a little bit jealous when you see other people having these happy times, and you're having to cope with so much, more so than others, in your opinion. But each of us have our road, and it isn't a competition connected to... I feel your energy is so tired that you've done so much that when you see other things where other people perhaps have got it easier and do have more, it's offending you. The universe is offending you. And it's not that person directly that's offending you. It's the notion of the fatigue connected to the journey you've taken in life and where you want to go, the things you tolerated, and it's making you frustrated. And you're saying to the universe, basically, this is my time. It's my time to shine. It's my time to have things. Now, connected to a person who's passed over there with you, they keep coming through and they keep saying it's going to be okay. What you're entitled to in life, and this could be connected to an inheritance as well, in a sense of what biologically, physically you are entitled to, but their spirit as such is going to be directly around you, connected to this road you're physically traveling on. Now, I feel as though something they physically told you connected to a romantic relationship is relevant to this scenario, and you need to listen to it. Don't rest on your laurels though. While you're in this zone, go and have some fun. Don't get to the point where you sit back and wait for everything to come to you. And I don't mean you're being lazy. I don't feel that at all. It just is not the energy you physically hold. You're tired, therefore you may get run down and need to rest. And that's essential. It more feels, manifest it, believe it, from a romantic standpoint. I do feel it bodes well. And I do feel this is a soulmate twin flame energy coming through. You're frustrated as well that it's taken ever so long to come to fruition. Very frustrated. I can see it entering your dreams, and you do feel left out in the cold connected to this. They haven't forgotten you, especially in a twin flame situation, although vibrationally when you're going through it, you do feel that. It's more that the key is to look at your own energy of what's going on. Okay. The person who left you out in the cold, or where you're feeling left out in the cold, this did not happen before in a previous life, so to speak. Okay? So that was not an aspect of your past life situation where you are right now. An aspect of forgiveness needs to come, but it's not coming yet, connected to, your fatigue. And your fatigue is directly linked to an issue of an emotional value where the blockage is. So forgive yourself, be human, which you are human, I'm not saying you're not. To a point, try and look at it from the perspective of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Your loved one on the other side wants you to know to make the effort connected to anything you feel is biologically or physically yours. Do fight for it and stand up for your beliefs. They're showing me the key, and it is connected to information from October or from a loving union. There is an M as well. This could be money, or it could be a person's name with the letter M. And it's something to do with aspects of finances. Oh, and the other message, they do have another favourite flower. I don't know what that means. And I'm being shown tulips. Oh, it's sort of like looks like an orchid or a tulip. It just looks like a different flower. You will know what flower it is, but this loved one is saying, I do like other flowers as well. Other flowers. Pull 3 more cards and we'll wrap your reading up. Now, for those of you who are in Perth, WA, I do group bookings. Otherwise, the rest of them are directly through Skype or telephone. Okay, aspects connected to you being very independent have come about where you're very grounded now. Now, this person who you're thinking about does have romantic feelings